Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 62 of the Sitcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my lovely co-hosts, Thomas and Donnie. Great to see you as always. A happy holiday season. Whether you're a first timer just testing the waters or a veteran card gamer, we're all siblings in cardboard. Welcome on in. And how have you guys been? How's everything?
Okay, I got a story for you guys. We're going to start
Shoot.
things off with a bang and a bust and a little bit of embarrassment because last Thursday, I had to take my daughter to her band concert. On the way out, I get this wild hair up my butt, and I go, you know what? I'm feeling kind of playful. I'm gonna mess around with my kids, right? So I take my daughter's trombone for her, and I yell at both of them. Last one of the car is a rotten egg. And I take off running. I'm booking it. All 6'1", 300 pounds, 37-year-old fat guy is booking it across this parking lot. And I'm winning. I'm beating my 6th grader and I'm beating my 8th grader. I am ready to win this race to my car. And I look over my shoulder to see where my 6th grader is because she's the faster one. She's the short one. She's got those little legs and they sprinting, okay? And about the time I look back to gauge where I'm at in the race, I see the concrete coming straight for my face. The next thing I know, I'm tumbling head over heels through the parking lot, and I've tossed the trombone, and according to my daughters, who, when they finally stopped laughing, they said that I had flipped like 3 or 4 times, did 3 or 4 complete revolutions in the air before I came to a complete stop. Banged my knee all the heck, man. It's scraped up, I'm bruised, it's ridiculous, but I sprained my freaking wrist. I've been dealing with a sprained wrist this entire week, trying to type up my school stuff, trying to set up everything, just trying to live, and it's still not back to 100% normal. But that's what I get for trying to be playful, I guess.
It's gonna affect your hand shuffling. You gotta be careful.
Yes,
about that.
That's right.
But hey, did you win? Did you like touch the car as you fell?
No,
Oh.
no, I didn't even make it halfway to the freaking car.
That's a lot of risk for not a lot of reward. I mean,
it was absolutely miserable.
Just in terms of that.
But it made them laugh, and that made me feel okay, even on my way to the emergency room to get my wrist checked because I wasn't sure if it was broken.
How did you broke your wrist?
But I've got full functionality of it again. It's probably about 80% because I'm still not able to lift stuff really well, but we made it through. I mean, last week when I did the League That Means Nothing game, which I lost spectacularly, by the way, that's another story. I was on camera trying to record while wearing my brace, and that was miserable trying to shuffle with a brace on.
That's got to be tough.
But
it sounds like you learned a lot.
I didn't learn a dang thing, man. I'd do it again.
my hands are sore too, but it's because I've been playing too much Path of Exile 2.
Yeah, I bet. I bet there's been a lot. I'm guilty as charged. I've been playing a lot of PE too.
The game's pretty good.
And then they nerfed my build.
I'm glad I hardcore practiced for Calling Chicago, which is this weekend, before that game came out. And I knew it, because if I didn't, I would have gotten none in.
You along with you're taking my he might even already be there. Card guys, Nathan.
Yep.
Away.
He's not. Those crazy guys are driving.
Oh well, that explains more. He's not at raid tonight, but I told him go kick butt, have a good time. It's gonna be fun.
It's Josh, Damien, Nathan, and Bradshaw are all in a car together.
Oh, that's a wild time.
Yeah, dude, Damien messaged me while I was at work. I think it was like 10:30 a.m. and he's like, "We've already ran out of things to talk about. I'm bored. Are you free?" I'm like, "No, I'm not, man."
We've already ran out of. That's when Bradshaw needs to pull out some magic and change up the conversation.
I bet you Bradshaw slept the whole way.
That's a good superpower to have too.
Apparently, they'd done a similar drive or the same drive before, and Will was just like, "Man, that was great. It was so much fun." And I think it was Nathan. He was like, "Yeah, because you slept the entire way there and back."
That's how you gotta do it.
I'm going
How
to
you
get
do
on a
those plane
plane
rides.
at about noon tomorrow, and I'll be there at 2. Hopefully, I won't freeze to death. It's going to be cold, I heard.
In Chicago.
Yeah, cold and windy as expected. But I'm pretty excited for Living Legend. I think the Living Legend format's a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun. I think it has a bad rap because of how it started. You know, top 16 Starvo meta.
I would agree. I gave it a lot of flack as well, but I actually think there's some
It's
cool,
pretty
fun
fun
things to play.
Doing all the play testing, it's pretty fun. There's at least like 10 decks that you need to think about, and like 6 extremely relevant decks. And there's lots of pet decks and weird like rogue decks that could end up in the format, just because like when you like shove in Art of War and Scalata and Duskblade and all these, and Ball Lightning and all these crazy cards, there's just the level of degeneracy that everyone has access to is pretty exciting. And then they banned or restricted Open the Floodgates, because before Open the Floodgates was restricted, there was just no reason not to play Kano. He was insane. But now that that's restricted, the meta feels pretty good, other than maybe you don't bring Kano, as we've seen. I think he's yet to even pick up a single skirmish win in Living Legend. It's pretty rough. We'll talk about it more, but I think he is so far 0 wins in Living Legend. Wow. Nope.
That's wild.
That is so wild.
That
Because I
is
remember
crazy
seeing that
considering-
Vincent won an LL skirmish.
As our Kano, local Kano player likes to say, Kano sucks.
Yeah, no need to pack any spell void. Don't bring any AB. It's not necessary.
Right. I just won.
I mean, maybe it's not when you deal like 50 damage to someone who has 30 life and no armor on turn 2.
I mean, yeah, there's that. That's definitely a thing too.
It's like you look at Zen and be like, why play Kano when you could play Kano with 40 life and 7 armor?
It's practically just the non-arcane version of Kano. It's the physical damage version of Kano.
It's kitty cat Kano.
It's kitty cat Kano. Yeah.
So I think the most exciting thing we have to talk about is probably some super sweet spoilers that are probably starting to throw the meta into a little bit of a flux as people are prepping for it, and it's definitely going to be throwing the market into the flux. Right, Noah?
Right. Smooth. I love the transitions. They're killing me. I'm looking at card prices as we speak. I have been quite frequently over the day. There's a couple that just baffle me. Like, there's always card price increases. I'm just
still going up.
I'll check. I know Unsheath for a minute was going up. Warrior stuff in general seems to be on the rise, but I don't know why. And it's weird. One of my screens is also doing something weird graphically, so it's just really fun. All right, but let's just jump right in. Let's just poke around some cards that I just want to touch back up on. I know we've talked about these before, but Slagmite's nearing $100 a card. I already told you that was probably going to go up a little bit. The cold foil, so it's still trending upwards. Jarl, I don't know. Everybody wants Jarl hype. Along with that thing, same line, Coronet Peak is $45 as a rainbow foil. So, you know, the crazy thing is I got to go call Joel because he took all my rainbow foils and he's like, they're going to be worth something one day, bud. And I was like, yeah, sure.
You're probably going for like 15 a piece, right?
$5 a piece.
Oh my God.
and so, because like that's how low it went. Coronet went as low as 5. And so I know he's laughing, going,
he definitely is.
And I'm thinking, man, I'm like, that's a margin I missed out on. Even though even though I told you guys for decades, ice was the real deal. But just wanted to check in on those. Felling of the Crown continues to see new highs, $53 a card. I don't think that card's going to stop till it hits 60, which is wild.
Card slaps.
The card's really good. It's Arsenal hate. What more do you want about it?
No, that's Plow. Felling the Crown's hand hate.
Hand hate. Even sometimes even better than Arsenal hate.
Mm-hmm.
Strictly better. Flick Knives is up to a $50 rainbow foil. Wild.
What?
Yeah.
Ow.
$50 for rainbow foil. Pretty crazy.
I mean,
it's just $20.
Clear that's going to be an amazing legendary unless they print something even better for Syndra, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably the de facto arm piece for Syndra.
Like every time you can activate your hero power, you're just gonna throw a dagger.
Yes, and because the recursion is supposedly going to be decently easy enough. At least that's what the hero power implies. Spinal Crush. I know we touched on it. The foils are still right around it. Back up to a $12 in some case Majestics. That's crazy. I'm telling you guys. That card was. I could go find the low, but I'm sure there were some that were bought under $1. Like back in the Bravo Dark Ages here, just recently.
Yeah, I think despite Jarl's reception being a bit lukewarm, I still think he's probably going to have a chilling effect on the meta. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
you come in super greedy, especially classes that like to break their armor. You're going to really, man. I played Riptide into a Jarl. It was a miserable experience.
Yeah. I have had no fun games as Azalea versus Jarl. Just no fun games.
Dude,
not
Rangers,
one
Red Line
fun
Rangers.
game.
It is bad.
Like we speak okay, and I don't get hit with mangles and stuff. But we're like we could talk about that, but it's just it's not what you want to be seeing. Enlightened Strike continues to go up. It's almost a $60 card now. That's right. Enlightened Strike, yes. As newer heroes come in to abuse it, it works really well with quite a lot of the heroes.
When you have your red line decks, your E-Strike's gonna be like your hand fix, right? You get 3 hand fixes a game, and 7 damage or 5 go again or 5 draw cards. Very versatile.
Super versatile. I mean, like Aurora, obviously, I think one of the best abusers right now.
It hasn't been printed in a while.
It has not.
True too.
It is also about $50 for the last 3 people that have listings for the white border ones as well. So don't think you're gonna get it any cheaper in History Pack. Tomes at 50, it's going up. Flamescale Furnace is 80. I think everybody's finally realized that that's the right play for the Volcor heroes. Tunic is 170 for the bright lights and the foil. Just keeping an eye on how to get into the game. 150 for the History Pack and Crucibles. So Tunic might actually somehow make it back to where I originally bought the Tunic at, which I got a good price at it. I was like, that's a pretty good price. And now it's somehow going to make it way back there, which is crazy. Imposing Visage, $13. Jarl stuff. I told you guys Massive Momentum goes back up. It's back up to like 80 when it was down. And then the weird one is, and I'll check on Sheath, Glistening Steelblade is back up to like $35. And in fact, there's only a few listings up there, and then it jumps right up to 50. Don't know why. I guess there's just somebody out there that's targeting Glistenings. It's not me, I promise. Like, I'd let you know if it was me, but it's not. Like,
Dory hype.
Yeah, Dory, I don't know. Unless they're holding back a burner, a real banging card
that targets swords instead of daggers.
Yes, it's got to be something very, very specific. Censor is your flavor of the week in terms of meta cards. It continues to climb. It's going back up towards $20 a card. It's right about 17, 18. I wouldn't be surprised to see that hit pretty high. Great card.
Well, it was also in the Zen list that won the Battle Hardened. There were 3 copies in that Zen list.
I mean, it's a great finisher, right? One costs 5, blocks 3. It's it's in your opponent's hand half the time, especially if they fuse a card too. But I mean, you know what I mean. In some cases, you just know what they have in their hand. You just call it. But last but not least, we just check on Sheath, and then I don't necessarily have. I've been thinking about speculations, but this is hard. It's $13 a card right now for Unsheath.
Short is fine. We've got a lot of spoilers to talk about.
Oh yeah. There's one in particular that scares the crap out of me.
Is it Cull?
Yes, it is.
Dude, that card slaps. Okay, we can just start right into that one
let's
because that's the
start right
one
into
I'm
Call.
most excited about, right?
That one scares the crap out of me.
As a shadow stan for a long time, and more recently very into rune blades. This is a absolute banger in both Vinset and Chain. Holy crap. Cull is a 0 cost shadow rune blade non-attack action. It has 3 block. It's majestic, so it only comes in red. You may play this from your banish zone. If a hero has lost life this turn, you may play this as though it were an instant. Each hero banishes a card from their hand, and it has blood debt.
Why can you play this as an instant? Why is that a thing?
Whoa. Okay, let's talk about everything this card can do.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
For one, it is basically always online, because even if it's the only card in your hand, you could swing Flail of Agony, you lose a life to Flail of Agony, and then you can make your opponent lose a card from their hand right off the bat. This also gives you hand extension, so you draw like 2 really good attacks, and you have some Malefic incantations out, generate lots of rune chants, and you're like, but I can only banish 1 a turn. Now you can banish a card from your hand with Cull and make your opponent lose defensive options and offensive options on the next turn. This is also another target for Eloquence. So if you have an Eloquence token, you could play this out of banish at instant speed to get a action point back. In the past, the only real way to do this is with Blood Moon. You ran Blood Moon basically just to occasionally interact with Eloquence tokens and do a little bit of fixing here and there on the odd rune chant. You might not even run Blood Moon anymore. Cull might be like your sole target to use on your Eloquence tokens. This card is wild in Chain. Can you imagine like Chain going into a Chain and like swinging, and he just says, okay, take damage, and just banishes your entire hand after he takes 1 attack? He just banishes a whole bunch of blood debt cards, and he goes, well, anyway, I'm just going to attack you with my 15 card hand that's in my banish zone.
It's a pretty wild card.
This card alone might almost lock me into Vinset for Pro Tour.
Okay, you didn't even touch on the scariest part of this thing. This is an absolute nightmare for any aggro deck to play into, because as soon as they take that first point of damage, this thing is online in their banish zone. It's online in their hand. They can play it at instant speed on the opponent's turn and rip a card out of the aggro player's hand in the middle of their combat chain.
Yeah,
how do you play around that?
The defensive and offensive implications of that card are wild.
There
in that sense.
There is the balancing factor that the Vinset is losing a card too, right? Now, because sometimes she can't always lose the card. Like, you're going to banish an attack, and then you're going to need to banish like another attack. Maybe you don't have that hand structure. But the fact that you could just leave it in your banish zone until you want to use it, and you take 1 blood debt a turn, not a big deal. And even better into some heroes where you're running like Reaping Blade, possibly, and you're wanting to walk them down on life total, could be really cool too. And you just intentionally taking blood debt and walk them down on life total. This card's sweet.
The card is scary.
And it blocks 3. Man, I love these. I love these Rune Blade non-attack actions that block 3. They're cool. And worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, you banish it and then just play it. And you nix a card out of your opponent's hand and pass. Like, it's not terrible.
Yeah. Fair trade. Completely fair trade.
Yep.
You get a rune chant and they banish a card.
Yep.
You're up on value.
It's a rune chant positive way that pulls cards out of your opponent's hand. Which Vinset doesn't have access to a lot of those.
And James White said it was subtly powerful.
Subtly powerful. Art's pretty good too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take that on a playmat. Yes, please.
All right. We can go ahead and hop to the other side of the light and shadow spectrum. This one's a little less good, but I still like it. I think it's interesting. It'll at least be a 1 of and still maybe a 3 of in Bolton. It's Warcry of Bologna. It's a 0 cost yellow majestic, so there's only 1 color of it. block 3 light warrior attack reaction, and it reads: target Raiden gets +2 this turn. Instant. Discard this, banish X cards from your soul. The next time target weapon deals X or less damage to you this turn, deal that much damage to its controller. That damage can't be prevented. This one's pretty complex. You could just think of like the obvious things. You're in like a weird endgame scenario. You have a lot of souls Bolton, but you're struggling to hold a big enough hand to kill Bravo. You could bonk him with his own hammer for 6, right? Pretty funny, haha. I think the more this card was designed to try to be a foil to decks like Enigma, whose attacks technically count as weapons. So she swings at you with a Spectral Shield. You can banish a card from Soul, discard this, deal 1 unpreventable damage, and wipe her whole board. Problem with this is that she can just put the Mirror Guy out and swing for 8, and then just not swing with the rest of her board. But she does have to play around that like fact that she can't swing with her 1s and 2s efficiently. So just it being in the Bolton deck can kind of like buy you some life, but maybe that doesn't really help you against the Enigma matchup. There's some other cute interactions here and there, but
I mean, you can block with it, right, and get the value down on the Mirror Guy, and then banish it. So like you could block with 2 cards down to 2, and then banish like 3 cards from
you
Soul.
Can.
Right?
The problem is you've got things like Spectral Manifestation, and like you can even like play Cats and steal all the counters off of it. Now it's not dealing damage at all, so you play around it that way too. There's lots of ways that Enigma can play around it, so that's why it's not quite a foil, but it does warp the way she has to play into you. It's kind of like having a flesh bag out, right? Or Runeblade having a Succumb in hand, potentially. You'd pay into Rune Chance when you normally wouldn't, because you don't want to get hit by Succumb. It's that kind of thing. But I think the top line of text is probably more powerful if it's played correctly, because maybe there is a combo Raiden, because it says target Raiden gets +2 this turn, +2 next attack. +2 for the entire turn. So on your Lumina turns, this is a 1-card 4, which isn't too bad. And on double Lumina turns, it's a 1-card 6, which is now in the realm of quite strong. A double Lumina, 7/7/7, pretty good.
You. Okay. I mean, I was under the impression that it was just flat out terrible, but now you've kind of talked me into, that's actually not terrible. It's playable.
Yeah,
it's definitely playable, and it's in the right direction. You know what I mean? Right? Like we were talking a little bit about before we recorded that they can't just bring out a 100% win card. Like they shouldn't fix it that way. So I think it's towards the right direction, like a good push into a realm of making the game at least more interactable.
I think it is a little weird that it's like almost just the same value as Blade Flurry, but you don't have to really jump through hoops with Blade Flurry. You just get +2 to 1 attack and +2 to the next attack. But also notable, there was like a funny mention that it says Raiden, not Raiden Duskblade. Just generically Raiden. So maybe on Monarch 3 we get a new Raiden sword that's different mechanic, and then this card maybe becomes very scary.
Maybe. I mean, they do like to play the long game like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cards like Poison the Well that we all called forever was going to be good.
Right. That's right. I remember. I remember a lot.
Card is still not very good. It's still not very good.
It's because they banned part of the reason that made that card really good.
It's because you could play an Oasis Respite and go, okay, I guess I lose 1 life and then gain 8.
Yeah. But on the off chance that it's timed perfectly, values in your court.
So possibly the most busted and the worst card at the same time that we got spoiled is Ring of Roses. Legendary Verdant Specialization. The card is incredible, except it is a legendary Verdant Specialization, and clearly has to be legendary because it would be absolutely broken if you could have more than 1 in the deck. So Ring of Roses, there's a yellow Earth Wizard non-attack action aura that blocks 3. It's a 0 cost and is a legendary Verdant Specialization, meaning only Verdants can use it, and she can only have 1 in her deck at a time. And it says the first time you deal arcane damage each turn, gain 1 life, which just sets her off, right? Like you gain a life, it pings for an arcane, then you gain another life and it pings for an arcane. So the value potential is incredible there, but like Spirit of Arenya, if you don't draw early, it has almost no impact on the game, right? If you see all your Luminas, no impact of the game. If you don't draw a Ring of Roses, so you're basically already dead, it's not gaining you any life, it's not increasing your survivability, and you have to spend an entire action point to develop it. pretty rough. It does block 3. But yeah, if you ever play against a Verdance and she plays this on turn 0, you go, well, once she banishes 8 Earth cards, I guess I lose. Because it becomes much, much harder to beat her. All right.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, it's one of those weird cards that I feel like they did struggle to design around. Like, you clearly can't allow Verdance to have 3 in her deck. Because imagine if she had 3 on the board, right? The first time she gains a life, she pings you for... Yeah, you eat a whole blue out of someone's hand every time she gains a life. First time she gains a life on a turn. That's too strong. The other 2 cards we got to see are support for some much needed support for some heroes.
I think the quiver.
Yeah, we'll talk about the quiver, but the first card we saw was the one that they said, hey, finally we're going to make Katsu a little bit playable. And it's Retrace the Past. And to be fair, this card is really strong, and if they errata the rules the way they said they were going to make it where you can name other cards, so that you can actually name Bonds of Ancestry, you can name other things, like, this card gets pretty good. I don't know if you run Dishonor, maybe you run the other ninja lines, but anyway.
If it gains the name, does it gain the effect or no?
No, it doesn't gain the effect.
Okay, but for naming purposes for Dishonor, it
would make Dishonor playable again. But anyway, Retrace the Past is a blue block 3 2-attack combo Katsu specialization card. When this attacks, if a card with Gust Wave in its name was the last attack this combat chain, name a card, this gets that name, +2, and go again. So already, this is pretty strong because it is a blue 0 for 4 go again. If played in the correct sequence, which is just good. And it's a pitch blue into Kadachi's. So amazing card. Definitely an improvement to every single Katsu deck. It's an automatic windmill slam of 3 no matter what you're doing. It has combo in it, and it blocks 3, and it's blue, and it's 0 cost. What's not to love?
Absolutely. And have you guys seen the thing that's been going around on Twitter about Crazy Brew and Life of the Party with this thing?
Yes, you can technically name Crazy Brew and then play Life of the Party and get all modes.
Yeah. Can you imagine ending your combat chain with Life of the Party after going through this entire combat chain?
I think you could also do Moonwish.
Yeah, you can
I didn't even think about that.
You can name
You can name Sunkissed and then do Moonwish after that, which I don't think it's very good.
But
but you could.
Yeah,
But
you
could.
definitely
And
could.
And that's what matters.
Yeah, so you could say Moonwish and then you play Sunkiss. I don't know if that's good, but it is a thing.
Life of the Party might actually be good, though.
That one seems
assuming
interesting.
you could follow it up. Because it would be probably Descendant Gust Wave into Retrace into Life of the Party off of 1 blue. And then follow it up with something else? Because Life of the Party gets go again? Or would you waste the action point?
No. What are you talking about? Like,
hold on, let me...
If you play the Gust Wave and it's on the chain, you are controlling a card named Crazy Brew. You call, and then it says you may discard or destroy a card you control named Crazy Brew. So you destroy and you get all modes. You get +2, go again, and it hits and you gain 2 life. That's pretty good. But
then what do you do with the extra action point? I mean, there's a whole action point wasted.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, like, play the Crazy Brew? I don't know. The Crazy Brew that you also have in your deck because you're crazy.
I mean, maybe it's good in LL. I mean, everything could be good in LL, right?
Dude, I have no clue. I mean, you could just Fluster Fist or Underwhelming Gust Wave. Like, so... Yeah, the world's your oyster. Like, you just 0 for 4 of them at the end. It's fine.
There's no way this makes Underwhelming Gust Wave decent, does it?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, no, it just makes Underwhelming Gust Wave straight up good.
Yeah, it makes it good.
All right, I gotta look at the other Gust Wave again. I don't even remember what that thing does. Gust Wave of the Second Wind, 0 for 4, 3 block combo. If Surging Strike was the last attack this combat chain, this gets go again. Okay, so... yeah, it sucks, but
Log in.
All
I mean,
right,
it's
I can see
just
it.
better than Flusterfist. It's just well, I don't know. Now with this new blue card, Flusterfist starts getting pretty good again because you could name Open Center or whatever and then play Flusterfist afterwards.
Yeah.
Uh,
Katsu has options with this thing.
I-
This is a bomb for Katsu. This is really good.
Isn't this like exactly what we said that Katsu needed? A way
Yeah,
to just
he
name a
needed-
card?
He needed a way to just get out of the pigeon-held combo chain that he's been in, because now you can have a combo without, having the combo. You can name 100 wins and go play 400 wins after it if you want.
You could do the one that makes a Zen State token. Zen State tokens are pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Good flexibility, which is good. Which is good.
Literally include any chain ender you want in the
Just,
deck. Oh,
just in
man,
time.
That is so good.
Just in time for ice to ruin it. Good, good.
I don't know about that.
No, Katsu's pretty
Katsu
resilient
likes
around
blues.
ice, actually. Like, because he
Yeah.
runs so blue heavy because he wants to swing Kodachis. Basically, you're losing the Kodachi value, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what's changing. I mean, Channel like Frigid, still a messed up card, but
Yeah.
Frostbite's not a big deal. My second most exciting card, in my opinion, after Cull, is Enchanted Quiver. This card is incredible.
Yeah, our good buddy Justin was complaining about this one as well.
Dude, this card is so good. I would have beat Alex Moore at Nats if I had this quiver. Like, dude, Ranger Equipment Quiver, instant, destroy this, prevent the next one arcane damage that we dealt to you this turn. If there's a face-up arrow in your arsenal, instead prevent the next 2. It's very mundane, not exciting, but boy, does it make Ranger so much better into Wizard. It's wild.
I mean,
does work.
it fits perfectly because, I mean, the quiver's useless. Like, you're not going to fatigue, so you don't need the wrestling one, and you're never going to really aim shots, you know what I mean, or aim counter. So you have a dead zone pretty much.
If you have a face-up arrow in your arsenal, if you know Kano math, this quiver is 10 life points at least on Kano's combo turn.
Wow.
Yep.
Because of where you stop that damage from the ripple effect.
And even against like something like Aurora, this is just 2 life. This is a block 2 potentially on like her Flicker Wisp turn.
Is it prevent the next 2, so 1 and 1, or is it prevent the next 2, meaning it would have to hit?
Oh, no. It's actually prevent the next 2. So
it
you
is
could
1
do
and
the
1.
1 and 1. Yes.
Okay.
The quiver's great. So this is
that's
clearly
really good.
something if you were like if Riptide is back in the meta, and then of course Azalea is always going to be meta if aggro decks are meta. This quiver just says you have 2 life against Aurora. You have a face-up arrow, she pops off with Arcane, and you block 2 of it and pick up 2 life, which, 2 life in these aggro matchups, big deal. This card is great. Really good card. I don't think we got any other like actual hunted cards, and that's probably going to be
We got
until
one more.
Oh, did we? What did
Yeah,
we get?
it was a brute card.
the
spoiled play
Brute
by
card
Min
that's not
Game.
even showing up. Oh, the stinker. This is. Oh man, this was the one I was most disappointed about.
It's a block 6.
No, it's not. It's just putting 2 block 3s into 1 card. Like, let's be for real. I guess if something has dominate, right, it does get around dominate. But
Shores up the Azalea matchup just a little bit.
it does, except you have to put a bad card in your deck. You could just put a sink below it and
Well, it doesn't say it's an extra cost to attack or block with it.
right. If it's your last card in hand, it does do that thing. I guess technically with KO, you can hold it till your last card in hand. You can use it to throw attack out of your arsenal because it is yellow. And then you go, oh, well, I don't get to. I got to block 6 with it. I'll get 6 points of value. I still don't necessarily see it getting played. Dude, if this were blue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It would be a blue 6. Of course, it'd be played in everything regardless.
man.
But
If this were blue, it'd be so good.
Yeah, but they're not gonna.
they're not going to give
They
Rhino
could have been
another
a blue
6.
3
It's not gonna happen.
cost. It's
No.
yellow.
They're never going to give Rhino another blue 6.
And the name of it's hilarious though. We didn't say the name of it. It's Thick Hide Hunter. Okay, my immature mind finds the name of that
It's
card
good.
really funny. The art's cool. I mean, it's a cool card, like in the concept, but it's like they're playing into the brute archetype of Welcome to Wraith. And that's clearly
Well,
not a place that Brute wants to be at right now. Most disappointing card they've revealed, in my
this
opinion.
is yet another card that makes me go back and actually read Reinar's text box.
Man, if Reinar got rid of cards on your turn, whew, this card would be spicy.
It would be absolutely nuts. But unfortunately, Reinar's text box requires that he discards cards during his own action phase. So this doesn't do anything cool with Reinar, unfortunately.
Same thing with
that was my
KO.
first thought.
Same thing with KO. This would technically be a 7-point value swing if you manage to make a might token by blocking with it. Doesn't work that way, right? And you just can't play this in Levia, because if you block with it and discard the wrong card, you just take 1,000,000 blood debt and die.
Yeah.
Block 6.
She's got enough of those problems anyway.
Now I don't have a way to turn off blood debt. Guess I take the additional damage that I just covered blocking. It's not good.
Yeah, I'll block for 6, take 13. Write that down.
Log in. Man, yeah. That card I'm pretty disappointed about. I feel like there's someone from like 2022 designing Brute cards. He's the Internet Explorer of Fab card design. Like
it has to be a good card though down the road, because they're gonna reflesh out the Brute story, and so I am a firm believer that if you're gonna buy something, or maybe that's what you spec on your Brutes.
I'm gonna pick up a playset. I think I have a playset of every Brute card. So I will have a playset of this, because obscure Brute cards become more playable all the time.
That's right. Bonehead Barrier's coming one day.
Dude, Bonehead Barrier will never be playable. Okay. Actually, that's a
We
card
said
I
the
don't
same
have a
thing about Boy
playset
from the
of.
West.
I don't need it.
You'll see.
Yeah,
When the real adult dice roll.
They have a hero that says once per turn, add 2 to a dice roll. Like, okay, Bonehead Barrier.
Maybe.
Boom.
Bonehead Barrier is great.
He's gonna be the gambling Brute. Wait,
I mean, you're not gambling at that point. Like,
wasn't there almost a gambling-based hero in Heavy Hitters? Didn't they say that there was almost a gambling-based hero in Heavy Hitters?
Yeah, but they had to sidebar.
Like it was Bookie
they're
or something?
bring it back. Yeah, but they're gonna bring it back. It's gonna be a dice rolling Brute.
yeah, maybe
down.
and maybe so. Maybe instead of Reinar, we were supposed to get some other like really heavily RNG Brute, but we didn't get it. Who knows?
Maybe.
I thought that they mentioned I thought they were maybe talking about Warrior, because we all know Olympia. They openly admitted that he was a bit half baked when he came in.
I thought it was Olympia is the one they switched the design for, but
I still think it is. But you're right, it could be.
But either way, I want a gambling Brute now.
And the countdown to chaos thing that they showed does like look like a D6 roller moving around. So
We're in it.
Yeah,
We're in it.
we only have a few more days on that too, right?
yeah, I'm pumped.
Like,
if they do come out with some like thing where D6s are mattering more, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing, but I have a lot of D6s and I will roll them.
I have so many dice.
Dude, I'm a scabs
D&D
gamer.
addiction is a real thing.
Dude, I mean, you block with your whole hand. I draw my hand, and it doesn't have a go again card in it. I'm rolling scabs. Like,
Yeah, I've actually been taking. I've got a KO deck built on the side, and I've taken it to Armory the last couple of times I've been, and I've actually managed to get a couple of games in. I played new at the Armory, of course, but I fiddled around with KO on the side. Scab skins is so much freaking fun, man. Just rolling scabs every turn and never getting punished because you never roll a one that never happens. It is so much fun just to roll dice. Just roll dice and go ham.
we did get to see the art for the young heroes. Good stuff. I think like Fang's art like is so detailed. Really, really cool art. I do like the style, the kind of like fiery, bloody style that we're getting with the Hunted. It's pretty exciting. I know you're definitely into that, aren't you, Donnie? The assassin stuff.
I'm still waiting. I'm waiting impatiently till we get to see more things. Print a stealth dagger, you cowards. Give it go again. Everybody keeps saying it's not going to have go again. Just give me the dagger. Just give me the dagger. That's all I want.
I feel
just
like
tell me why Tarantula Toxin has that text box.
I feel like it's not going to have go again, right? Because I feel like the warrior's going to give it go again. I feel like Syndra's not even going to swing with them. She's just going to throw them at you. So we'll see.
And because of Arachne's text box, the first stealth attack has go again every turn.
Yep,
It's not gonna have go again.
exactly.
That's not. No, don't do that to me. Just give Nu the dagger.
I mean, you just got to run Razor Reflexes, right? Doesn't that give it go again? Or is that attacks? Maybe that's only attacks.
I think it's just attack action cards.
Oh well. Sorry.
Yeah, with the cost 1 or less. Yeah.
Okay. Hunted's looking pretty good. I think we get some spoilers in Calling Chicago.
For sure. We'll be looking at the vendors and stuff, see if anything just pops up.
Dude, did anyone see the Fab Metal tokens for Calling Chicago?
I saw it just a few minutes ago, actually, like right before we started recording. That's pretty sick.
It is interesting. It's literally a deep dish pizza. Sorry to spoil that for anyone who hasn't seen the little video that they did, but it's like on the one side it's just normal, but on the two side they have like these 6 little pieces of the deep dish pizza, and on it are your +1s, -1s, and so on. And then when you take all the pieces of pizza out, your 2 side is there. I think this one
actually breaks down into slices.
Yeah,
where you can actually use them as individual counters.
I think this one's a novelty, right? I don't know how usable it is, but it's like perfectly iconic, right? And the one side is beautiful. Like,
yeah, it's got to have a little case or something to keep all the pieces in, right? Because there's no way you actually go to use it and flip it and send everything flying. It's got to have its own little holder, right?
Not sure. I mean, you probably take the slices of pizza out when you're using it as the thing. But it is kind of neat though, right? If you 3D print a little case with it, it kind of like has all of like your base tokens you need right there in one little dish.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a cool idea. I also just like, they do a flavor for every single major event that they make a token for, which is really cool.
Yeah, it was really clever.
You'd think that like it would be cost prohibitive, but they somehow managed to make it only. I think this one will be more expensive because it's more pieces, right? But like they consistently make them very, very affordable, considering that they're all short runs made of metal and hand painted and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
they're hand painted.
I think so. Like I don't know how they're like industrially manufacturing these things. The print runs are too short. They're making like 200 of them at most. How are you going to get someone to do manufacturing of like 200 or 300 of these things?
There's no way these things are hand painted.
I bet you they are.
That would be insane.
I bet you they're mostly making them by hand. They just got a really nice setup, really good tooling.
If somebody knows, let us know. Put it in the comments. But I don't see how that's possible. The amount of work that would go into hand painting each and every one of these things.
They might have some kind of manufacturing process that they've got set up, because 3D printing and control printing gets better and better. But yeah, there's no way that they're having like a large manufacturer make these when the runs are so short. They're really cool though. I'm probably going to pick up a pizza, even though I don't think I'll ever use it. But I'm going to the Calling, so I want a souvenir for it.
Fair.
All right.
You gotta pick
really
up
wish
pizza.
Our final topic for the evening, I think, is going to be the competitive scene from the past week.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing that happened last week is Dromai picked up 7 wins in Living Legend. What? Like, she's the second, tied with Bravo or Starvo, most winning hero in Living Legend Skirmish. It's really bizarre. I don't know if there's like some secret society of Dromai players. They all went out to their respective skirmishes and crushed it.
I mean, it's got to be the red line, right? Because Big Dragon just is too dirtily to actually build up enough, right?
I have no clue how Aurora doesn't just flatten Dromai. Same thing with Viserai.
Or Zen.
Yeah, but skirmishes are kind of weird. As you saw, our skirmish was really small. I think only five people showed up.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's really small. Even though like we have like double, sometimes triple attendance for just Armory. Like I said, bad rap for the format. I think a lot of people haven't really given it a chance. It's really fun. But
Well, the thing, I just don't want to build another deck. That's really what it boils down to.
dude,
It's Living
I
Legend.
already told you the difference between
I know. I
between
mean, I could.
CC new and Living Legend new is you take your 3 blue count your blessings and you put them in your deck. And you can only run 1 Warmonger's Diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not
That's
playing
it.
CYB though. I'm still playing the red line aggressive new because that's how
Yeah.
I want to play the deck. But I am coming to the realization that that's incorrect in this meta. It's CYB is just the better version. So I'm probably going to cave and get a few copies of CYB because I still don't have enough copies of all of them to actually play it. Oh, by the way, you left too early from Armory the other night. I have a blue CYB that I was going to give you, but couldn't get your attention across the parking lot.
Oh, well, I'll pick it up. It's a little late now since I'm going to Chicago tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll have my red ones, and those will be good enough. We had a calling Kuala Lumpur over the weekend.
Uh-huh.
I think that was a CC calling.
Mhm.
The meta is kind of what you expected. Really heavy on the Enigma, also heavy on the Aurora, Nu, Viscerai, and Zen. Azalea had a better showing, 14 more players, and then it kind of starts to taper off from there. I don't really have a lot to comment on the meta. It's just showing how dominant Enigma is, and you really have to have some game plan that plays into Enigma, or you have to be playing on another spectrum that's like preying on other parts of the meta, like Nu, right? So,
Well,
I feel like
yeah, and also Ira is actually really, really good. I don't know if Shoma was completely undefeated, but he ran the Swiss. Ran the Swiss with Ira.
yeah. He was first seed going into top 8. Our top 8 was Shoma on Ira, and then we had 3 Auroras, 1 Nu, 1 Viscerai, 2 Zens. And finals ended up being Zen versus Aurora, right? It was Pudding Tam versus Nick Butcher, and Nick on Zen ended up picking that win up.
Turns out Zen is still good.
Yeah,
Go figure.
Zen is very strong. Might be like one of the funniest cases of keep banning cards from him. He's still very playable. Dude, it just doesn't it like. Isn't it a little disturbing that we went through an entire meta where he had access to Art of War and Bonds of Ancestry?
Yeah.
Like, how are we even playing Flesh and Blood? Like, how are... Dude.
I don't know. I never had a problem with Zen, but then I've played Nu since MST dropped, so...
Yeah.
I have been seeing a lot of people talking about just how strong MST really is as a set.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me worried, man. I mean, if when Nu and Enigma and Zen inevitably out, Living Legend out in the next couple of months, we're not going to see them come back anytime in the next several years. It's probably going to be every bit of 3, 4, or 5 years before we see these heroes again. And kind of hurts my feelings, you know? Because once my baby's gone, I'm going to have to find somewhere else to go.
I mean, that's fair. And I think we've seen that LSS makes a fun game, but occasionally struggles to make talented heroes that don't completely warp the meta, right?
Yeah.
We still don't have an untalented hero in Living Legend.
Yeah, I think
That's true.
Azalea may be the first one.
Yep,
Because
Dash is in purgatory. Azalea's getting close. Zen, speaking of Living Legend, Zen there's a very high chance Zen will not make it to Pro Tour.
No way.
He is on track to hit Living Legend during the RTN season before Pro Tour.
He is currently at 845.
Yes.
Holy cow.
He crushed it this weekend. I think he won the calling and the battle hardened.
Yeah, Azalea's at 813, and Viscerai is at 810.
Mm-hmm.
Then right behind them is Phi. Huh. Holy cow.
Yeah, we got 4 or 5 heroes. They're all getting close. We are going to see some pretty dramatic changes in the meta. I think as soon as you see like Zen go away, Viscerai is going to like be uncontested. There won't be a 12-petal Kasaya to shut down the rune chance, right? And you'll see him hit Living Legend pretty quickly. and then we'll see on Azalea, right? She somehow doesn't manage to pick up a lot of points, even though she's consistently a great pick.
Okay, what
It
do you
is
guys
weird.
consider the danger zone as far as watching for how much longer it's going to be LL? Because I'm thinking about 750.
Yeah, if we're saying danger zone, if you're thinking like, should I pick up the cards to play the deck? Unless you're picking up the cards and you're willing to take a loss on money because you want to win, and it's like the deck, right? I would say 750, 800 points. You should just not bother, right? Unless you think you can use the cards for other classes, other formats. Because he has a lucky weekend and the deck's gone. Or he wins Pro Tour and the deck's gone. And then you lose a lot of value or a lot of playability of your cards. However, I mean, if you like Living Legend format, Zen's a banger in Living Legend.
Well, Pro Tour and Worlds are both 100 points now, but there are 6 heroes that are 750 plus. We got Dash in first, then Zen, Azalea, Viserai, Phi, and Bravo. Bravo's at 751.
Bravo's probably pretty safe. Who knows? The Guardian Mastery Pack comes out in November of next year. Maybe things change. Is it August or November? I don't know. It's later into next year.
I think it's August.
But I think Bravo, if you want to play a Guardian, just play Jarl. Anyway.
Yeah, you got a bigger card pool. He does cool things as well. I mean, he doesn't have Bravo's specializations. Bravo's got some really good specializations, though.
He does, but I mean, even with the specializations, like, I mean, he's not being played at all, and so I think, I mean, even Betsy, I think in some cases just does Bravo better. And
I can see that.
I think you gotta understand, Betsy has a game within a game where Bravo is more so a very frontal, like, dominate and despair type of thing, but
Hey,
Betsy has this like sort of cunning like wager going on, so it's a game within a game because you're not going to beat the wager most of the time. And I think the math just curves out better for Betsy, and in some cases I think Overpower is actually better.
If you made me choose a deck, I'd play Betsy before I play Bravo.
I think so too.
No way.
I also just think she's more fun.
I'll take Crippling Crush, thank you, and I'll take Starstruck.
Dude, be fair, drink them under the table.
Drink them up at the table is wild.
It doesn't even need to crush. It doesn't even need to crush. It just needs to hit, and it has the same value as Crippling Crush. Crush is a pretty rough mechanic if you look at it from the Guardian's perspective. You go, okay, block it to where I take 3 damage, and then I just send the rest of my hand at you.
Yeah, okay. All right. Maybe I'm just biased because I have played Bravo a little bit in the past as well, and I like the old boy. It was a fun deck. It was a fun deck to learn the game on.
Well, it's a math deck, right? Like, it's like you evaluate your hand. Is your hand better to just block out and swing hammer? Like, and when you learn that actually gives you a huge intuition on how to be better at Flesh and Blood and how to win at Flesh and Blood. As soon as you learn how to give up your hand and wait for better hands, or give up your hand and just threaten 4 or maybe 6, you just become better at the game.
Didn't work for me though. I'm still trash.
Still trash. Dude, even when I play Florian, even when I play CC Florian, and I'm just like, I'll forget. I'll be like, God, I want to keep the Felling of the Crown and throw it. And it turns out the better thing to do is actually block with the Felling of the Crown and just Rune Champ plus Reaping Blade 4.
Dude,
which is really weird, right? You'd think
hardest thing ever is being forced to block with a Codex of Frailty. That, and
yeah, you look at your one card like, 10, and you're just like,
this can't be the right move.
Am I blocking
this
with
hand
this?
Yes.
Look, you got multiples in your hand. You got to fix it because like 2 codexes is just not cohesive.
It hurts.
It's like playing Vincent, and you have to succumb in your hand. You're like, oh, this card blocks 3. I guess it's blocking.
I don't know. Game is complicated. Game is good.
Flesh and Blood is hard.
Yeah.
One thing we did forget to mention, so we have one more weekend of skirmish this weekend, but you cannot bring Victor to it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Congratulations, Victor Goldmane.
You are no longer legal in Blitz.
Yeah, the one without the horse.
So
Specifically, the one without the horse.
I think it's pretty clear why he did so well and moved to Living Legend so quickly. If you kind of look at the gigantic armor set that Guardian has, it's even better in Blitz, right? It's like it doubles its value. And then his block fours, again, are even stronger in Blitz. The value potential there of, and then like you hit a gold token, and then you throw a Golden Sun for half their life total in Blitz. Yep.
Feels good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty good.
How's Terra doing?
I actually haven't checked. I did not follow. We didn't end up with any blitzes nearby, so I didn't even follow the blitz season. I was so excited to play Data Doll and saw we didn't have a single blitz event nearby, and so I just kind of like got sad about it and shut down and said I'm just going to ignore the format if I can't engage in it.
I really wish that we had some Blitz armory close by where we could actually engage with Blitz at all, because it's just not available anywhere around Atlanta.
Do you really want to play against me playing Data Doll? I'm just going to degenerate high roll top deck you like I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's fine.
Sure. I'll take it, because I want to actually experience the format, because I don't get to play it.
I'm going to build the roll of dice KO anyway, so I don't care.
Dude, you're going to swing at me. I'm going to block with the headpiece and like put a Teklo Pounder out, and then it's going to go to my turn. I'm going to break boots and put a microprocessor and a cerebellum out, and you're going to go, wow, you just like drew like 6 cards for nothing. I go, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's see. What was the question exactly? How's Terra doing? Terra has picked up 3 wins.
Not bad.
Or actually, it says ROS season 3 wins, but he's at but it has 15, but he's at 35 Living Legend points already. Where did he pick up the others? He picked up 20 points from something else. I guess he came out technically before Rosetta. Did he like pick up some random event before Rosetta even came out? Because that's really funny.
That's what it looks like it's implying.
But yeah, he's got 35 points already. Not too bad for a new hero just introduced in a format that I think now with Zen being legal again is extremely explosive format, right? You look at the top decks. The top decks were like Dorinthia, Bravo, Blaze, Zen, Prism is still in the format, crazy enough. KO, even Levia was doing pretty well this season. She picked up 60 points. So it is interesting to see just generic, no really cheating on value. Earth Guardian is doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Blitz LL board, and Dory and Bravo are the next 2 in line.
Yeah, but you look, they only picked up 3 wins. I think we might see them get eclipsed by Blaze. I think
Blaze is blazing.
People doomed on her a little bit when she first got introduced. They're like, she's good, but she's not that good. Clearly, she's pretty strong, right?
I thought she had a really good showing when she first came out. Didn't she like?
It's not Kano, and so of course people are going to doom.
But I thought she did really well until they banned like one of the cards that Kano was using in Blitz.
Yeah, didn't they ban either Wildfire and Blitz?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Like I said, I don't get to engage with the format, so I don't pay attention to it.
Yep. To quote me, that's true. Sometimes it can be hard to follow a format you don't get to engage in. That was the problem with Living Legend, right? Like sometimes the Living Legend skirmishes are so small because it's hard to engage with it other than like the very rare skirmish. And so people kind of discount the format, even though I think it's a ton of fun.
I don't remember if you actually said it. What won our skirmish?
Oh, it was Prism.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it was me and Will were playing for the win. I was on Florian, and dude, this is supposed to be a 0% matchup. I had 24 life. I had 48 rune chance. I just needed to draw an attack. I said, Will, if I draw an attack, I win. And he's like, yep, you do. And I was like, no attacks. And he's like, okay, I'm going to hit you with my giant board and put you to 3. And I'm like, I guess I lose. So it was interesting. I got to play my deck in paper. So that's important considering I'm going to be playing it this weekend. And it is a very cognitive deck that almost always goes to the 50th minute.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
That's what
I'm
we
going to be playing
LL?
fast. Yes. Dude, the
Okay,
old him matchup, if the old him comes in like super degenerate, I'm going to gain like go up to 200 life. The game ends at around turn 140. That's how long it takes to kill old him if he's just going to gain a bunch of life.
Oh,
Yep.
ew.
It is very ew. But
turn 140.
yeah, it goes to about turn 140.
Has it mapped out? That's wild.
Dude, here's what it's going to be. Activate weapon pass. And he's going to go pass. I'm going to go activate weapon pass. And he's going to go pass. I'm going to activate weapon pass. And he's just going to pass because he's going to sit and he's just going to hold a whole bunch of ripple aways and wait for me to play my germinate. And I'm going to wait until I have all 3 Mordred Tides. And I'm going to break Scalata and play all 3 Mordred Tides. And he's going to play all 3 ripple aways. And I'm going to still make like 100 rune chance. And then we're going to both be at about 200 life. And then I'm going to finally swing about... When we were playtesting it, we broke Talishar because as soon as she crossed 255 rune chance, the lobby closes.
That's good.
Okay, then.
That's fucking good.
That's insane.
By the way, this episode will have to publish maybe like Saturday morning, just so I'm not giving away exactly what I'm playing before Swiss even starts. I don't want it to be out there.
Well,
Dude, we're still such a small podcast. I don't think
That's
anybody's
okay.
gonna track.
I'll get sniped and be
they're
like, yeah, I
finding
knew
it.
what you were doing because you said on your podcast. And I'll be like, never again. Well, I'm going to never again right now.
You got to keep a good habit now so it doesn't happen later.
I mean, we have a good time, but we are still very small creators as far as the
I'm
mission
just doing this
goes.
for fun.
Absolutely.
Until
This is still fun.
until they give us the creator kits, then it becomes real.
And speaking of fun,
That would be nice.
I have to go play a league game really quick after this, and then I have to do a last minute testing team meetup where we all discuss our sideboards and strategies going into the calling this weekend. So I've got a busy night of Flesh and Blood still in front of me.
I'm
Flesh and
gonna go
blood
get
it
some
up.
food. Let's wrap this up then. We ain't got nothing else.
Then where can everybody find you, Donnie?
Draco Hominis 87 everywhere social media is sold, and I think my latest article just came out today. It's a budget guide to Aurora, courtesy of our good friend Justin, who supplied me with a deck list to write about this week. Noah, how's that
It's
Dory
coming.
list looking?
It's coming.
Okay, cool. So that's probably going to be the next one, but that's going to be 2 weeks out for my next article. Blue Sky, YouTube, Discord. Find me as Draco Hominis 87.
Where can everybody find you, Thomas?
You can find me at Wet the System on most social media, Wet the System Fab specifically on Twitter. Yep, I'm always trolling Discord. Right now, I'm hiding in some random Discord playing Path of Exile too, but I'm still around. If you just want to talk to me about Flesh and Blood, send me a DM.
And I am at Big Max Fab on Twitter, Big Max on Blue Sky, and I open packs of cards on the channel, as well as we're looking toward Hunted. We'll see how much product we get. We'll at least do some openings, hopefully. But I'm sold on the set. I'm just not sold on the set. I know that doesn't make any sense, but we'll get there. Other than that, thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us again this week. And if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you found us to catch us again. Until then, take care of yourselves and remember, we're all siblings in cardboard. And no matter who LLs or what LLs, you know there's a card that can't LL. It's Pummel. It's not banned yet. You got to discard your cards. You have to.
And
EG the whole
When Pummel
Oh,
gets
right.
banned and this bit is ruined, we'll be all sad.
I'll still do it for the band format. Take care.